Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Central Europe here in Hungary, Budapest. I hope everybody has had a fantastic week and is looking forward to an even better weekend. Hi honey, hi Nancy, hi Janiel. Welcome members. This is a members chat class for task 2 writing of the IELTS exam. And let's finish our essay that we started yesterday on a band 9. That's our goal today. Hi Rashika, hi Abhishek. If you'd like to become a member of our channel, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. And of course, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Please visit us there. For general IELTS, visit us at IELTShelp.com. On both of those websites, you can now use the code R4TYJ to get a 20% discount off of our premium package. Our premium package includes over 100 hours of HD video lessons, 50 practice speaking interviews with students from around the world, 6 original practice exams, and a fully interactive course with lots of strategies. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Here is our academic website. Here you can click that big red button to join our premium package there. And this is the general version of our website. You can click that big red button to join us there. We are a British Council IELTS registration test center for Saudi Arabia, and we have certified British Council agents on our team. So ask us questions if you have them. Send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com with any questions that you may have, and I will gladly respond. Hi, Carolina. Hi, Ali. Muratkan, good to see many more of our members coming into the class on time. You can get our exam books from Amazon also. You'll find a couple of different exam books, AE Helps Academic IELTS and GE Helps General IELTS. That's what you need to search for. So today we have this task 2 class, and then we will follow it with a reading class that will be for everybody, where everyone can join the chat. That'll be in about 90 minutes. Okay, let's get into it. So this was the question that we started with yesterday. IELTS task 2 writing. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Some people claim that not enough of the waste from homes is recycled. They say that the only way to increase recycling is for governments to make it a legal requirement. To what extent do you think laws are needed to make people recycle more of their waste? So here, that's the question. Yesterday we discussed this. We went into detail about the planning, and we came up with some good ideas. Now, I remember that we were having a little bit of difficulty coming up with the concept of time as one of our universal constraints upon humanity, okay? So I wanted to just emphasize this a little bit before we get into the body paragraphs and the conclusion and looking at the introductory paragraph as well. Whenever you are writing a persuasive essay, okay, you should think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? I think that's a really good concept to keep in mind. Is everybody familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Okay, and these are the kinds of strategies and tips that you'll find in our course. We have teams of psychologists working for us as well, so we really have some very unique concepts that will help you to perform better in your communication, and this is a good example of this. So Ferdovs says that yeah, he's familiar with it. There's a couple people, Janiel says no. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but I will mention the key concept here, okay? Let's put it at the end of our planning here. Okay. So this is the concept that we came up with, or that I helped you to come up with, that society is running out of time to learn slowly that it needs to recycle. So it needs to be done fast. And remember, this is what I said about the COVID as well. The reason that governments brought in some very strict laws into society is because humanity has to react very quickly when there's a pandemic. We don't have time for slow reaction. That's extremely dangerous. So Honey says, yeah, I know. It's like first basic needs are food, shelter, clothes. Once these are filled, then we can go into some other layers of fulfillment of needs, like money, recognition, companionship as well. And then at the height of the pyramid is self-actualization. Yeah, that's absolutely it. So very good, Honey. And you want to think about that when you're thinking of these task 2 essays, okay? So keep in mind what I call universal constraints of humanity. When you are thinking about your thesis points for persuasive essays. Okay, task 2. Now, a good example of that is what I said is, for example, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, so that's a good one to keep in mind. All right, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, basically, when you see the diagram, it's basically like a picture like this, okay, and it's got different layers. All right, in the bottom layer, you'll see things like food, shelter, okay, or basic needs. The basic needs, if we don't have them, we can't survive, so we don't worry about our higher level needs. Higher level needs are like safety, for example, okay? Safety, and then above that will come companionship. Okay, and then we've got a few more, and at the very top will come self-actualization. Okay, self-actualization means that you basically fulfill your dream of who you want to be. Fulfill the dream of yourself. Okay, so if your dream in life is to be a doctor and help people, and you become that doctor and you help people, that's self-actualization. Okay. Janelle says, I think we have a movie in Bollywood on that. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of movies based on this as well. Okay, so you can think about these. And so to come up with my answer of time for recycling, I thought about some of the most global constraints, right? One of the most global constraints, and Maslow's hierarchy of needs is constrained against this as well, is time, okay? So you invest your time into food and shelter, then you invest your time into being safe, then you invest your time into friendships, and eventually into self-actualization, right? So time is a universal constraint, okay, that governs all of us. So these are good concepts to keep in mind. Definitely a basic concept of psychology and sociology will help your thinking in just about any domain of science and industry, okay? Whether it's graphics design, engineering, marketing, mathematics, astrology even, okay? Astronomy. All right, so keep that in mind, okay? That's just a kind of a quick tip before we get into it. Everybody's clear on why I mentioned that now? So if you haven't really dove into this concept, then definitely check it out. So check out Maslow's hierarchy of needs and think about these universal constraints and needs of humanity, okay? And that will help you to come up with ideas for your answers. Good ideas. Will help you to come up with good ideas, okay? All right, so the introduction, you know what? Why am I showing you this? Let me challenge you for this. So hopefully some of you did the homework. Great, Rajveer, Jainil, Abhishek, Nikhil. I'm glad you're on page with me. So for the question, Carolina, good. For the question that, we need government laws to encourage people to recycle more, we came up with our thesis. The thesis was, I strongly believe that government regulations are required to force people to increase their domestic recycling habits because of irresponsibility and time. Okay, irresponsibility and time. All right, so this is the thesis. We're going to write this essay, body 1, body 2, conclusion. And hopefully some of you wrote the introduction. So now I'm looking for the hook. Good, Carolina's on it. Carolina says thousands of tons of garbage ends up in waterways and oceans each year, and people only recycle about 30% of it. Okay, I like it, Carolina. A nice fact that kind of drives home that point. It's interesting. It's catchy. It works. Okay, it's a bit complex, Carolina, but it's good. All right, just make sure you don't make mistakes when you write a long hook. Looks really bad to have mistakes in the first sentence. Yours is good, Carolina. There's no mistakes, so you're on the right track there. Okay, Abhishek says nowadays household wastes are considerably increasing. Yeah, Abhishek, I think that's a fair point because we're a very consumeristic society. Consumerism is on the rise. I would agree that that's a good statement to make as well. Okay, nice to see that many of you are really advancing with your writing. Jainil says recycling is one of the most effective solutions to reduce waste in households. Yeah, Jainil, I think that's a good one too. Okay, so each home must include 2 different colors of garbage bags. Ois, that's suggestive. Okay, yes, it kind of catches my attention, but it also makes me a bit confused. So you're going into how recycling is done, and I think for a hook, it's a little bit awkward. Okay, so careful, Ois, with that. All right. Ferdov says laws and regulations can save our planet. Okay, Ferdov, it's a little bit abstract. You don't directly mention the concept of recycling. Save our planet is suggestive, so it's not bad. I think you could go with it. Ferdov, I think you could go with it. Just make sure you're clear that you're not directly including your topic when you're writing that, okay? Because laws and regulations is not the topic here. It's increasing or maximizing recycling, okay? Welcome to our group of members, Matt. Join in. There's Matt. Good, Matt. Fantastic. You're right in there with the hook. I love seeing that kind of ambitious response from new members. Fantastic. Matt says there is no doubt that recycling is a crucial matter to take into consideration. Yeah, Matt, that works. Recycling is a crucial. It's one of many. So it's a crucial matter to take into consideration. Not take it in consideration, but take into consideration. Okay? All right, and welcome aboard. Ali says, recently some reports reached the limit to say that maximizing home recycling is a matter of life and death. Ali, a little bit too complex, and you have some mistakes in there. Otherwise, it's not bad. I would just simplify that, Ali. I would write maximizing domestic recycling is a matter of life and death. That would be great. Okay, so just take out that whole first part of recently some reports reached the limit to say it's awkward, it's wordy, it's poor writing. Okay, just start with maximizing home recycling. You don't need homes recycling, just maximizing recycling at home is a matter of life and death. And it is from many perspectives, right? Saving the life of trees, fish, and humans. So it's a really nice kind of lead in to the rest of the essay, Ellie. Just make sure that you express it clearly next time, okay? It's good concept, but poor writing. You want good concept with good writing, okay? That's always your goal, all right? Okay, cool. Background. Here's my, let me just try to hide my background as much as possible. I kept my hook really simple here. Recycling household waste is expected in society, right? That's just a fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words, all right? Hook is it's really simple, okay? It's just like when you really go fishing. Oftentimes, the simpler your hook is for the fish, the bait, the more likely you're going to catch something. Sometimes people who are new to fishing buy these really expensive, fancy lures to catch fish, and then they have a lot of trouble. You know, they're shining, they're flashy, they're spinning, and they're doing all kinds of strange things, and they don't catch any fish. And then the experienced fisherman that's standing next to the new fisherman has got just this really itsy bitsy little worm on the end of their hook, and they're catching these monster fish. And that's because that simple little worm does the trick just fine, okay? So that's what you're thinking when you're thinking for a good hook. Recycling household waste is expected in society, right? We all expect it. So I think even people who don't do it often expect other people to do it. So that's all you need, okay? All right, background. So the background, what's our definition here? Why is this important? Why do we need to talk about it? Give me some background. Okay, Ferdovs, I'm guessing that's your background. Ferdov says, in order to maximize recycling, authorities charge individuals who do not desire to recycle domestic rubbish or do it minimally. After that, most people prefer recycling than paying fees. I think, Ferdovs, that belongs in your first body paragraph with irresponsibility. Okay, so I think you're jumping ahead. I don't think that's quite what we're doing here. Ferdovs, when you're defining in the background, maximizing recycling, what does that mean to maximize recycling? Let's not get into laws yet, okay? Ali says the progressive deterioration of the environment as well as the climate's not only rapid and terrifying, but also underestimated among people. Okay, Ali, it's good. Again, a little bit overcomplicated. You could simplify it, but the idea is good. There, Ali, you have the importance of the question. So that's the second element of your background. It's the importance of the question, okay? Rashika says, domestic recycling is an essential part of life nowadays because a lot of materials used in life are made of plastics, and these do not decompose naturally. Okay, Rashika, I think you're okay. It's a little bit broad. It's a little bit general, your definition. I'd like to see the definition focusing more on what's the concept of maximizing recycling, okay? Abhishek says, recycling domestic wastes are converting garbage into reduce usable materials such as plastic bottles, tins, and paper. Not only this is imperative for the blue planet in the lifespan. Abhishek, I think you went down a really so you're overthinking it and it's making it confusing. Okay, think simpler. Carolina says, nowadays few people reduce, reuse, and recycle their waste, creating pollution, overflow of landfills, and destruction of natural habitats. Yeah, so Carolina, that's good. You're definitely more specific to the concept of or the need of maximizing recycling, okay? So you're on the right track. Carolina, remember always to think about defining maximizing recycling rather than defining a lack of recycling. They're two sides of the same coin, but it is important to be clear on which side you're looking at for your audience, okay? Always explain from the positive, not the negative, right? All right. Murat Khan says, in recent years, recycling has been an ongoing issue to protect the environment and prevent people from overconsumption. Okay, Murat Khan, the last word that you're looking for there is overconsumption. Matt says a lot of individuals do not pay enough attention to the urgent involvement, prominent attention to recycling, which demands the urgent involvement of governments to reduce damage to humanity as well as habitat. I would say damage to the environment, including humans. Okay, Matt, you need to rethink that. Watch your word order. And Matt, don't use contractions. It's do not pay. Okay, do not pay. So don't use contractions in task 2. Okay. OS says government intervention like fines leads people to increase their involvement in the recycling process. These need collaboration and follow up through municipal councils. Otis, you're writing the body paragraph, not the introduction. Okay. Hi, Lubna. Okay. So here's my full paragraph. I'm going to just read the whole introduction from start to finish. Okay. Here we go. It's nice and short this time. I didn't overdo it. I just did one sentence for each. Okay. Recycling household waste is expected in society. People need to reuse, reduce, and recycle their domestic rubbish not only to protect the environment, but also to ensure the future prosperity of humankind. So this is the definition and the importance. What's the definition? The definition is to reuse, reduce, recycle domestic rubbish. So I'm defining the need for recycling, okay? What that involves, reuse, reduce, recycle. And then the importance, this comes from our planning. Remember, everyone, we said that we want to recycle not only to save the environment, but also to save our way of life, humanity, right? So I just put that all into one sentence. It fits nicely here. So not only to protect the environment, but also to ensure means guarantee, the future prosperity. Prosperity means good way of life. Excuse me. Of humankind. Okay, and then my thesis. I strongly believe that government regulations are required to force people to increase their domestic recycling habits because of irresponsibility and time. All right? Okay, so first body paragraph. Okay, let's get into it. So body 1. We need a topic sentence. What should be this topic sentence? Okay, so what should be the topic sentence? What should it include? Give me that. So Carolina, you're right on the topic sentence right away. I want you to, before actually giving me, so don't give me the topic sentence just yet. Give me some more information. Okay, see, this is why it's only a part of it. Irresponsibility is only a part of it. Yeah, irresponsibility is a part of it, but we need more of that, and I want to show you this, okay? So it's not just irresponsibility. Okay, so it's more than that. So Ali says, define the point on irresponsibility. It's a little bit more than that, Ali. Okay. So it's not just irresponsibility, or it's not just the irresponsibility of recycling. It's more than that. It's these 3 dots here are very important. So what are these 3 dots? What's the missing information? Yeah, very good, Rajveer. Okay, Rajveer has been with me for a long time, and I think, Rajveer, you've really learned on how to identify the components accurately here. So here, more specifically, this is what your topic sentence should be, to be very accurate. It's defining the need of laws to manage irresponsibility of recycling. That's what you should have in your topic sentence. So now try to write a topic sentence, okay? So Carolina, I saw your topic sentence. Try to rephrase it so that it includes all of this information. So define the need. So it's kind of like looking at the thesis as government regulations are required to force irresponsible people to increase their domestic recycling. Define that. What do you mean? Okay. So here the listener or the reader in this case is thinking, what do you mean by that? Okay, so I'm giving you a little bit of a head start here, and then I'll get going as well. Okay. I will start my sentence with since. All right, great. Now I see some answers coming up. Good. Here we go. So, Rajveer says many individuals are inconsiderate of their action when they do not sufficiently recycle their domestic garbage. Hence, government laws are imperative to maximize domestic recycling. Yeah, Rajveer, not bad. A little bit of repetition of ideas or household waste, but it's overall not bad. Okay. Oh, it says government fines enforce people who neglect to recycle to be more responsible towards their families and society. Okay, Ois, again, you have a really good idea. I think that's a fantastic idea for the topic sentence that you have there. You just have to be more attentive of the order of words and your grammar. But there you have the right idea, okay? All right, Abhishek says some individuals take recycling at home recklessly, and this impacts on others while dumping their recycling bins anywhere else. Okay, Abhishek, a little bit awkward on the grammar. You need a bit more clarity there, okay? Therefore, it is better to involve higher authorities for rules and regulations. Again, more clarity, Abhishek. Lubna says, simply spreading awareness has not made much difference in people's behavior. Therefore, it has become necessary that governments create laws to deter people from recycling. Okay, Lubna, I think the second half is very good. I think the first part is a little bit generalizing, okay? But it's not bad, Lubna. It's not bad. I think you're on. It's okay. All right. Ali says, nowadays, without official laws, uh, a large number of people behave without a sense of obligation toward the environment. Okay, Ali, don't overcomplicate. You're overcomplicating unnecessarily, and wordiness not only makes it awkward, but it lowers your score. Okay, Honey says rather people should initiate the recycling process itself, but they fail to do that. Government makes laws to ensure recycling. Okay, Honey, good ideas. Again, work on grammar and expressing that clearly. Here's my topic sentence here. Since many individuals neglect, and I am not the only one using that word, right? You think of the word irresponsible, the word neglect comes to mind. So a couple of you use that as well. So since many individuals neglect their duty, another way to say responsibility, to recycle a lot of rubbish, government laws are needed to force them to act in the interest of themselves, the public, and the planet. Okay, so now we want to explain that. So now you need an explanation of that. So what do you mean? And this is, of course, where you can bring in a lot of quantitative language. So explain this. Use quantitative language. Okay. All right, so write your explanation. I'm going to do the same, and then we'll compare. Okay. Okay. All right, so here's my explanation. So frequently people around the world throw plastic bottles, tin cans, and glass containers into their general rubbish, which should otherwise be separated into recycling bins. And authorities can make this an obligation by imposing strict $1,000 fines for those who do not separate their recyclables appropriately. Okay, so there is my quantitative, clear explanation of neglecting to recycle and forcing people to do so by government. All right. Lubna says 2 out of 10 households. Now, Lubna, make sure you use the words 2 and 10, not the numbers. So 2 out of 10 households take part in recycling, even though they are aware of the benefits. This problem requires government intervention to increase the amount of trash that is recycled. The second sentence, Lubna, is repetitive. You've already mentioned that information in the introduction, so careful not to repeat information, okay? Honey, the word nowadays is one word. Nowadays, people pollute, not spoil, pollute the environment by recklessly using products which cannot be recycled easily. Honey, that's again a different topic using green products. So I would stay away from that explanation. Okay. Carolina says for the explanation, people are very irresponsible in categorizing their waste like plastic, cardboard, glass, and organic waste, compost. If this situation continues to escalate, it will not only create unpleasant smells. Okay, Carolina, careful with future tense. Don't use it will, it creates. We're not, Carolina, unpleasant smells. At the end of the day, who cares? One of my neighbors got really angry because the compost pile near our apartment had a bad smell. And I talked to the neighbor and I said, well, would you rather have an unpleasant smell at times because of the compost, or would you rather not have a compost and not have a planet? And then the neighbor kind of looked at me and said, why? And I said, well, if people don't start composting their garbage, then eventually it's not the smell that we're going to be complaining about, but it's going to be a lack of having environment. And so something for something, right? But anyway, Carolina, that's I'm going off topic or into a small domain there as well. It's not about the smells here, okay? So it's not that specific, all right? Okay, so here's my explanation again, and now I want my specific example, okay? Okay, so the specific example is always an idea that you can really see and feel, okay? It should be very real world, all right? So all right. In my neighborhood, I have seen recycling increase threefold since the Canadian government established strict laws for residents that do not recycle their waste. And this is actually quite true. So I know that a lot of our viewers and a lot of people have aspirations to study and live in Canada. And just an important note on that related to this example, that you will have to recycle when you are in Canada. Canadians are very strict about recycling, and they actually check your garbage. There's actually people in Canada whose job it is to go around the neighborhoods and check garbage. And if they find glass bottles and tins and plastic in with your garbage, they will track you down and they will fine you. And even in an apartment building, they can figure out eventually who is doing it. And I think that first they give a warning. After the warning, it's a $250 fine, and then it goes up to a $2,500 fine for the third case. So very, very, very strict on that. So you can't throw cardboard or glass or plastic in with your garbage. Everything has to be separated. So in Canada, they are very, very strict about this. Okay. All right. Lubna says, people in my community had a careless attitude towards the environment. However, after the authorities imposed a $100 fine, they started taking recycling seriously. Okay, Lubna, that's a good example. Oh, by the way, another important point is if you are caught in Canada throwing garbage out in nature, like in a park somewhere, or even just in the forest somewhere, it's a $10,000 fine for that. $10,000 fine. So That's one of the reasons Canada's a very clean country. All right. Oa says, in our neighborhood, people always throw garbage. Okay. Ois, the grammar, you have to fix it. I get the idea. So in my neighborhood, a person threw his garbage in front of his door and the children kicked it around. He got a penalty of $100. Yeah. Okay, Ois, got it. All right. Okay, so here's my full body paragraph. Now, I need to connect and conclude. So can you write some concluding sentences here? Okay. Meanwhile, I'll read Jainil's example. Jainil says, in 2014, the new Indian government, BJP, formulated a law for recycling at households. If a person does not recycle at least 70% of their trash, they must pay a $1,000 fine to their municipality. Okay, very good, Jainil. That's a great example. Okay, nice use of quantitative language as well. All right, so connecting sentence. Here we go. All right. Body paragraph 2. Okay. All right, so body paragraph 2, I'm going to read a couple of those. Body paragraph 2, think about what you have to include in your topic sentence for body paragraph 2. Okay, think about that, right? Rajveer says, this is one of 2 reasons that government regulations are necessary to encourage people to increase their household recycling. Yeah, absolutely. Rajveer, you almost wrote exactly what I wrote. Ferdov says, only fees can change people's recycling attitudes quickly as humanity lacks time. Yeah, okay. I think Ferdov that's almost good for your topic sentence for the next body paragraph, okay? Abhishek says, this is one of 2 reasons, Abhishek used the word 2, that I agree with the notion that governments should implement strict rules on the home waste product for recycling. Yeah, Abhishek, that's a good concluding sentence. Just make sure to use the word 2, okay? So body paragraph 2, your topic should include the idea of government regulation is needed because people are out of time. So that's what we want to define further, okay? All right, I'm going to write mine and you write yours. I'm going to start writing the body paragraph a little bit faster here just so that we can get motoring and moving and see the whole essay. Carolina says, the earth cannot cope with the current rate of destruction. It is running out of time. Therefore, government, yeah, that's it. That's it, Carolina. You just need to be a bit more specific. So All right. So here is my topic and my explanation together, and I see Rajveer Oas writing here as well. Janil, it's a good question. There's not really a big difference. Send me an email and I'll let you know what it is, okay? I don't want to digress into that. So here we go. Our planet cannot cope with the rate of pollution generated by humanity, and societies are running out of time to save the environment. So government intervention is needed to speed up the process. The rate of I must have erased the part there. Okay. So the rate of, here we go, let me rewrite that. Okay, I believe that was roughly what I had. So explanation, the rate of land, air, and water pollution is rapidly increasing, leading to global warming and the death of flora and fauna. Without putting a quick stop to this process, the planet and humanity along with it suffers and dies in a matter of decades. Okay. All right, and it is up to the elected authorities to curtail means to put a stop, to this phenomenon with heavy fines and consequences for those households which contribute to this problem. Okay. Example. All right. And I see some nice writing there by Ferdovs as well. Catastrophic changes in the world forces authorities to tackle the problem immediately in order to save our planet. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Always, people in search, people in each neighborhood should recognize their order in the garbage truck as date and time because they need willing garbage in front of their house. It's a little bit unclear, okay? Rajveer says humanity cannot wait for another 100 years for self-realization to act towards increasing recycling, as wild animals, sea creatures are already dying due to increased landfills. All right, not bad. A little bit generalized, Rajveer, a little bit on the other side of the coin, okay? So careful with that. Example. All right. Now, I think that my example should be a little bit more specific, but I'm running out of time, and I'm definitely typing quickly at this point, so I'm going to rethink that example a little bit later on today and add a conclusion. And I suggest you do the same. So again, think about how you can nicely finish this essay and then add your conclusion. And here in your conclusion, really consider your take-home message. I think you can come up with a very, very good take-home message as well. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have for this class, so I have to bid you all farewell, but I saw that there was a lot of really nice writing, and Matt, I loved how you just jumped into this class and started contributing right away. That's fantastic. I encourage every one of our viewers to do the same, and you'll learn quickly. Okay, everyone, that's it for this class for right now. Coming up in about 30 minutes, I will host another class, which will be reading practice and strategy. Yeah, Matt, good to see you in the class. That was great. Okay. For everybody watching, you can get lots of Task 2 explanations and examples from our websites. Check out the blogs. On the websites, we keep posting these Task 2 essays in our blogs as well, the finished Band 9 essays. So check that out, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Abhishek, Jainil, Rajveer, Carolina, you're very, very welcome. Some great contributions today. Ali, good job. Careful, Ali and Ois, with grammar. Ali, careful with overstating ideas. Hopefully, I will see all of you in half an hour for some reading. That will be an all-chat class. Everybody will be able to join. Take care for now. I'm Adrian, signing out. See you shortly. Bye.